Hail to the squadron. Hail to the call.
How do I feel about it? Well, it kind of reestablishes my connection with old military aircraft and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't fly in combat with that, but I got my basic training in gunnery on those.
So do you think it's changed at all? Do you think it's a different model or something?
No. Well, different model. It's evidently one of the later models because it's got the chin turret. See
Yeah, I
underneath
can
the
see
nose,
that.
that little thing. They didn't have that in the early days.
No.
But undoubtedly, there's some. As these planes are used, they keep updating them. You know, they get they got a complaint department. You know, you get off the plane and you complain, and you send these complaints in, and they take care of it. Uncle Sam handles everything.
Yeah. That's probably how turboprop came to be.
It could be. I don't know. We didn't have any of those.
No.
But
I have a question, Dad. When you were on this plane, did you serve lunches and drinks? Was that your job? Were you like a flight attendant?
no. That it's
Do you think this will be like any more luxury? Like, what was the general like luxury factor? How
the
is
luxury
it built
factor.
For?
Let me see. There was no soundproofing. That was one of the luxuries.
Oh.
There was no outhouses at all.
You showed me the little pipe.
Yeah, well, that was for when you urinate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do it with the other one. You know. But anyhow, cut, bleep. And if you didn't like some particular area that you were flying over, that's when you would save it. Yellow. It was yellow rain.
All good things come from
All
heaven.
good things come from heaven. Yeah. Clap. But anyway,
Oh, but so it was more built for efficiency rather than.
that's it.
I'm not filled with confidence.
No, I was telling Dad that if I'm in my plane and I'm, getting ready to go to like Germany or Taiwan, I don't really want to see someone out there playing with the propeller. I don't think it's asking a lot.
Now, when I'm first learning gunnery, we were able to take a chance of using the turrets. The ones on top, those are power driven, electric and hydraulic. And there's one underneath the ball turret. See right underneath? That's another turret underneath there. Had to have a special man to get in there because it's so small. He's in there and he's all crunched up inside there.
Yeah.
They must have just small guys in there.
Small guys. And there were times when that thing, you couldn't retract it. So what happens if you got landing gear that can't come down and that thing is still there and you're in it?
You're scraped.
Yeah.
Hail to the squadron. Hail to the corps. Hail to all the airmen who span the skies before. We're on the beam to victory. Thumbs up forevermore. So hail to squadrons flying high. Hail the men who rule the sky. Hail to the Army Air Corps.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder. Keep the wings level and true. If you live to be a gray-haired wonder, keep the nose out of the blue. Flying men guarding the nation's border will be there, followed by more. In echelon we carry on. Nothing will stop the Army Air Corps.
Engines still loud as can be. What would have helped, you know, if you'd had some earplugs, you know, but loud. And it vibrates all over and everything. All your radio equipment is dead, of course. It's there, but it's dead. They've disconnected everything. I was hoping that, and the key is still there for the code, but it was an interesting flight. It didn't go down as far as the center of Boston, just strictly to the north coast, like, you know, in that area, circled around all the coast and everything.
Was it any different from when you were training with these?
There are some differences in the one that I were on. This is probably a later model. Mine were real old timers.
How was the takeoff and landing? Seemed pretty smooth.
It was smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't let anybody go down into the tail, but I managed to get up into the nose.
Did you?
A lot of them couldn't make it because you've got to be flexible. Because
Yeah.
it's very narrow, all the spaces that you crawl in.
Yeah.
So
you
if
got
you're
to go up
flexible,
front?
you can
Cool.
go.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I went up front. I walked through the Bombay and everything, and I wanted to ask him if those were the Wright Cyclone engines or the Pratt and Whitney. They used the two different types, you know, and the V25s had two different types too, but loud, unbelievable. There's almost nothing for mufflers, you know. It's just a short stack that brings the exhaust out because the exhaust is very hot, you know. Those pipes, at night, they glow.
Oh, all the black smoke comes flying
Oh,
out.
is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Well, mufflers and like pollution control are luxuries. So if you can live without them,
I was surprised the radio operator actually had a seat belt. I don't remember anything like that.
Oh, that's cushy.
Yeah, well, this cushy is right.
Did you enjoy the on-flight service? Did they have a movie?
No movies, no
pretzels,
no
no
specials,
Coke,
not
nothing?
no peanuts, nothing. But it was an interesting flight.
Good.
Wow. It was 11:30 a.m. and we had a mission. We were flying north on the east coast of Kyushu. We were going up there, and for one of the first times we were at a higher altitude. We were at 10,000 feet. We carried no oxygen, incidentally. And 10,000 feet usually is used as the area where you begin putting on oxygen, and we had none. But that was our limit. And we were flying at this altitude, and I looked out to the west, towards the west of me, and there's the mushroom cloud. I had seen that, and I wrote down in history, that's where I was, 11:30 a.m. So that thing actually had gone off maybe a half an hour prior to us getting in there. They wouldn't let any of the other aircraft get in too close, so I don't know how far we were. Maybe we might have been maybe 100 miles from it. But when we saw it, it was already way up like this and up above, and it was way up above us. So.
Any final reflections?
Final
on your
reflections.
experience today?
I'd be curious to know how many of those guys had flown before in World War II, you know. A couple of them had flown before, but not in World War II. One of them had flown on helicopters. He was with these guys that do a lot of parachuting and everything, you know. And I don't know about the other guys. They're not all old like me, you know. They're all old. I'm not old. No. It's a state of mind, anyhow. Yeah. No. But that was very enjoyable.
Here's a toast to the host of those who love the vastness of the sky. To a friend we send a message of his brother men who fly. We drink to those who gave their all of old, and down we roar to score the rainbow's pot of gold. A toast to the host of men we boast, the Army Air Corps.
You didn't want to get off, did you?
Well, you have to, you know. Yeah. Before I go deaf. Wait for me!